Hey everyone. So you know how we all have our go-to brands, the ones we trust, the ones that have built a reputation over the years of being the good guys in the PC space. For a lot of people, that brand is Corsair. But what happens when that trust is completely shattered? What happens when a brand you rely on, a brand that powers your livelihood, not only fails you, but then actively fights against you every step of the way? My PC, like to many others, is like a child to me. At the heart of this child was a Corsair RM850 power supply, powering a Ryzen 9 5900X, a high-end motherboard, and 32 gigs of RAM. Everything was fine until it wasn't. One day, a pop, a hiss, and then a smell. That unmistakable smell of burnt electronics. The power supply had failed, and it took everything with it. My entire computer was dead. And that's where the real horror show begins. I'm a disabled creative. I can't be without a computer for months. So before I even started the official support process with Corsair, I had to borrow hundreds of dollars to buy new parts just to get back on my feet. I thought to myself, this is fine. I'll get reimbursed for the damaged parts. It'll all work out. But what followed was a months-long nightmare of email after email after email. Corsair's process is so slow, so rigid, and so utterly devoid of empathy that it feels like it's designed for one purpose: to make you give up. For a disabled person, this kind of bureaucratic gauntlet is especially difficult, and I told them that repeatedly. It didn't matter. They didn't care. And then after all of that, they finally came back with their final offer. $255. $255 for a 5900X, a good motherboard, 32 gig RAM kit, dead, power supply dead for all of that. I even did the research for them. I wrote down the cheapest used price I could find for these parts on the day this whole thing started. The total value of the components they destroyed was at least $600, and their offer wasn't even half that. This isn't a mistake. This isn't a miscalculation. This is a deliberate lowball offer from a multi-billion-dollar company that thinks you'll just accept it because you're tired of fighting. This wasn't a good faith negotiation. It was a tactic, and a dirty one. I've already told them I'm done buying their products. But this story is bigger than just me. It's about a company that's built a reputation on being reliable, but when push comes to shove, will leave you high and dry. If this happened to me, it can happen to anyone. I'm putting this story out there for all of you, because this kind of behavior needs to be called out. So the next time you're about to buy a new component and you see that trusted logo, I want you to remember this video. Remember, the true test of a company isn't when things are going right. It's when something goes wrong. And in my case, with Corsair, everything went wrong. Protect yourself and never stop leveling up.